What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another episode of Pound for Pound. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
A Shadowline production.
Henry, big weekend just went down. UFC 309. Jon Jones taking on Stipe Miocic, and what an emphatic finish. I think this is just Jon Jones's MO, Henry. I'm going to let you go first. How did you see the fight?
Oh,
Because
man.
you like to copy me, so you go first.
I was saying, what? Trying to piggyback off me, Kush? Well, let me start it off. Let's go from the beginning. Jon Jones did a really good job of making a guy like Stipe Miocic very apologetic. I would never talk to your kids. I would never do that. I'm sorry. I mean, just X, Y, and Z. I mean, it was to the point where Jon was doing a really good job, to the point where me and Jon were actually texting each other. And I'm actually telling him, hey, Jon, amp it up. Stay on this dude. I sent him a voice message, but like, hey, man, I think you're onto something. These people respect you. Stay on them. And he said, so we've been chit-chatting a little bit on just the art of war, man. Starting the war before he actually starts the fight. So one, I think through the art of war, mentally, he was already in, Jon Jones was already in Stipe's head. And then two, when the fight started, I mean, talk about Jon's pressure, man, his subtle pressure. Even his defense is maybe considered not correct because Jon was kind of fade. He was doing a lot of this other motion, kind of giving the back of his head a little bit, but he was able to get away with that. But other than that, man, I felt like Jon was winning the kicking department, where he did a really good job at the beginning of the fight, and then that takedown, man, that takedown where he was able to really get like it's almost like a clothesline type thing. I know Zabit would do it quite a bit back in his day and get away with it. Even Jan has hit it a couple of times, but just his top control, the fact that he was able to finish that first round on top, he really invested that. Stipe really had no answer, dude. I think Jon Jones, from the beginning of the fight, he dictated the fight with that takedown, and then with those heavy elbows. And then round two came about, and same thing. He just controlled the pace, and then by the time three hit, he was just like, you know what? It's time for me to do work. He already caught that spinning back kick a couple of times before he ended up finishing him with that third. But overall, man, talk about the punch sides and what Jon Jones was able to do, and how that he really mixed his fighting. The only thing that I will say is where he does have to be careful is going to be defensively. But other than that, it was truly a flawless performance. And I agree with a guy like President Dana White. As long as this guy's in office, as long as Jon Jones is still actively fighting, dominating the number one contender, and then dominating the greatest heavyweight champion of all time, Kamaru, he is pound for pound.
Yes, Henry.
Was that too much? Was that too much for you, Kush?
You hit on a lot of things. I think Jon is fantastic. I mean, Jon is Jon Jones. He's figured out a way to fight the fight. And yeah, you are right. The art of war before the fight, he figured out a way to kind of dial in the respect aspect of it. And when you do that, when you're able to close in and hone in on an opponent's respect aspect of it, that when they go in the fight, they kind of go according to your dance. You kind of already have that mental control. And I think Jon Jones did a good job of that, because even when there were instances where Stipe wanted to get off, wanted to kind of press, but then he would just fall right back into Jon Jones's his rhythm again. And Jon's rhythm wasn't that high paced. It really wasn't. It was in front of you. Jon does a great job of showing you subtle fakes, but then he does all these attacks that you can tell Jon Jones has spent ample amount of time in the gym perfecting these. What heavyweight or light heavyweight is throwing a spinning back heel and landing it flawlessly on either side of the body, whether it's the liver or whether it's the spleen, on either side of the body? Not many guys are doing that. What heavyweights or light heavyweights are doing that takedown, that Zabit like takedown, where it's a back trip and then it's almost like you clothesline them down? How many of them are doing that? Not many. These are things that Jon Jones has spent years and time in that gym perfecting, and it showed. Now for Stipe, I think the time off definitely hurts. The time off hurts, and we don't know what Stipe's dealing with. Stipe's not 24 or 25-year-old young man where his knees doesn't hurt or his back doesn't hurt or something doesn't hurt. Something does hurt, I guarantee you that. But he's still a warrior. He's still able to come in and step in there after being gone for over 2 years. And so hats off to Stipe. But Jon Jones is just Jon Jones. He's phenomenal. He's able to get it there. And of course, whatever Dana said as far as, hey, he needs to fight this guy and that guy. Jon, you do what you want to do. If you want to fight, then you fight. If you don't want to fight, you don't want to fight. Because there's this thing, and I don't. It's just human. And Henry, when we talked about this, Mike talked about this as well. And not only Mike Tyson, Oscar De La Hoya talked about this as well. Is as humans, we love to watch invincibility shattered. We love it. For some reason, we thirst for it. So we help build the aura of invincibility of a guy where everyone's pulling it. You're great. You're the greatest. You're the greatest. You're the greatest. But secretly, we want to see that broken. We want to see that invincibility broken. And I feel like that's the same with Jon. And when I was champion, it's the same thing. It's like, hey, no, you should fight that guy next. That guy's going to beat you. And then you defeat that guy. Then they go, oh, no, that's the next guy. That guy's is going to be the one to do it. And then you defeat them. And then they're like, no, that guy's going to do it. They're going to always continue to say, Jon, no, that guy's going to do it. That guy's going to do it. That guy's going to do it. So it's up to Jon to say, you know what? It is what it is. I'm done. And walk away.
Yeah, right, 100%. But I didn't get that sense that Jon Jones doesn't want to walk away. I think if he would have had a shitty performance, I think he'd be like, all right, I'm out. But then once he was like, you know what, I'm deciding that I still don't want to retire. But I will say this, the fight that he really does want is he wants Alex Pereira, or he wants some of that, my little girl's right here, or he wants some of that FU money. And I wanted to say it's so bad.
Yeah. No, he's absolutely right. Because listen, Henry, when you have a performance goal like that, it reinforces something. It's almost like the devil tricking you. It's almost like it's dangling a carrot in front of you. It's like, hey, you still got it. You can still do this. Yeah. Go ahead, take the next guy. You still got it. Go ahead, take the next guy. And then you're sitting there going, yeah, that was kind of easy, huh? Yeah, I still got it, don't I? Yeah, I still got it. Yeah, let me go ahead and jump in the next one. And then before you know it, God forbid, something bad happens. And now everyone's like, oh, well, you're just like the rest of us. You win some and you lose.
Yeah, but
it's not true.
But you have to see it too from the promoter side. I know what Dana's doing. He just hit the nail on the head. They're playing chess right now. Who's gonna cave in? Is it gonna be Jon caving in, or is it gonna be him caving in to whatever price they decide to with which opponent? Or is Dana White gonna be like, you know what? Jon Jones is too dangerous. Why am I gonna give this guy Alex Pereira another champion? If Jon Jones does leave, how am I gonna let you just slaughter my cash cow and Alex Pereira? That's exactly why. Both me and you know it, Kamaru, is that why does Jon Jones want this fight? It's an easier fight. There's a deficiency in Alex Pereira with wrestling, and that's something that Jon Jones is going to do. He's going to expose that. So if I'm Dana White, what I'm saying is, well, if you do want that money, if you do want some of that fuck you money, there's a way to get it. You go through Tom Aspinall, you cash in there, and then I'll give you Alex Pereira. But I'm not going to give you Alex Pereira and then see you walk away and beat the living shit out of my light heavyweight, and then you just cruise off to the sunset. So as a promoter too, you also have to understand what type of game that Dana White is actually playing. Do I believe they're going to throw out crazy money to Jon? I do. But I believe when Jon says F you money, fuck you money, I'm thinking this dude's maybe thinking $20 million. Call me crazy Kush.
Well, first of all, I disagree with you in saying that Alex Pereira is just a much easier fight. I don't agree with that. if anything that Alex Pereira has shown is yes, he's making it look sort of easy, but Alex Pereira is not that much of an easier fight. Alex Pereira, from us speaking from our perspective, because we were elite level wrestlers, yes, we see a deficiency that we could potentially exploit, and so I'm sure Jon does as well. But there's something that everybody has that you could potentially see as a way to I guess you could say a chink in the armor per se. Everybody has it. And if anyone could see it, I think it's Jon Jones. So to say Alex Pereira is just an easier fight, I don't think so. I do think we see the deficiency, Henry, and also
really, Kamaru, really,
and Jon Jones. But Alex Pereira has proven that he's not an easier fight. He's not. Look at what he's doing to guys. Yes, they're not Jon Jones, but hey, he's somehow. How many times have we got on here and we talk about, okay, this guy might be able to get him, and then we're like, and then you are like, he did it again. He forced the guy to stand with him and just trade with him. And you saw that. You saw the fight. There was instances where Stipe was trying to exchange with Jon. Jon's defense, as you just say, wasn't really as sharp. Alex Pereira can continue that combination, and Alex Pereira is going to kick. And Alex Pereira will isolate those legs. So it's not that easy of a fight. I think on Jon's perspective, yes, Alex Pereira is a bigger name than Tom Aspinall right now.
Yeah.
100%.
But
and so if I had to choose, if I'm Jon Jones, 100%, I'm going to choose the guy that's probably a little smaller in weight. Actually, they both big. So I would pick Alex Pereira, 100%.
You would pick Alex Pereira to win?
No, I would pick Alex Pereira if I was Jon Jones if I had to continue fighting. So, yes.
Yeah. Well, no, 100%. I agree with you there. The champ versus champ. I mean, you're right. Jon Jones, he could do whatever the fuck he wants to do. He really can. But the real winner that night, it is Jon Jones. I mean, dude, this is probably one of the most epic, if not the most epic UFC fight card in history, where every single fight card. Yeah, I felt that, man. Just the magnitude, having President Trump there.
Okay, okay, you can say
you gotta let me finish, Coach. But you gotta let me finish, bro.
Flag on the play, Henry. That was a flag. Epic fight night flag.
From the experience of having the ability to fight in front of the president, dude, every fight was good, maybe except the Bo Nickal fight. But even that Bo Nickal fight was all right. But the winner at the end of the night, it was Jon Jones. From his celebration to him doing the whole Trump thing to him like waving, giving him the whole thing.
You're gonna do it.
From him,
You're gonna do it.
From him,
do it right.
From him jumping over the octagon, showing President Trump the belt. I mean, these are epic pictures that the president and President Dana White will remember for a lifetime. I just feel like right now, because of his dominance and what he's done, I got to agree with the boss. Dana White. He is pound for pound. And I just want to know from you, Kamaru Usman, is Johnny Jones Bones now the pound for pound undisputed king?
Yes, but it's recency bias. This is what I'm saying. Yes, because on Wednesday, Jon Jones should be number one. But if Jon Jones doesn't fight for 2 more months and Ilia Topuria goes out there and finishes somebody else, then Ilia can jump it. Pound for pound doesn't mean that has to stick for a whole year. Pound for pound can be interchangeable. Islam Makhachev is still there for pound, but recency bias. That's why these rankings come out every Wednesday. Jon Jones just fought. So by Wednesday, I expect Jon Jones to be number one pound for pound. But hey, Henry, flag on the play, the most epic fight card. Relax.
Nah.
I would say that you're right. As far as star power, as far as the atmosphere, this was Dana brought the A team. Trump brought his A team. Literally. You had Elon Musk there. You had Kennedy there. You had Vivek there. I think that's his name.
Yeah,
you had Trump
Gabbard
there. You had Trump Jr. there. You had the A team of America. You had America there. Let's just say that. You had America there.
Were you there, Kamaru? Were you there?
Of course I was there.
I did see
you. You know, I did.
They even had you third row, dude. That's how big the damn show was. Kush, what's up? You telling me that
hey, don't do me like that. When you put
the Nigerian Nightmare in the third row, you're telling me there's no hot talent. It's the most epic UFC event of all time. We have the president and everybody there, especially after his comeback. That means a lot. And President Trump, congratulations. The UFC pretty much won the president the damn election. We love that man.
Yeah, I mean, and then you.
Oh, there he is.
You had
third row. Look at him. Third row.
Second. Stop saying that, bro. Second. Don't disrespect me like that. Jesus. hey, we sitting there. We was like, who was these dudes in front of us? Who are these guys?
Yeah, probably a lot of Secret Service. But other than that, Kamaru, you have to agree with me. You have to agree with me. This is one of the, if not the most epic events in UFC history. I tell you what, the lineup of the card, you could have done super fights. You could have done so many, dude, but these fights freaking delivered, and particularly the co-main event with Charles the Bronx and Michael Chandler. Man, I tell you what, dude. Man, I don't know, man. I feel like Chandler has really won me over, dude. Even though he always just wants to entertain and do his thing, like he probably is the most exciting fighter. I've always, went to the point where, it's just engaging, but man, Chandler is right there with him. I mean, he did an amazing job with Charles Oliveira and really taking him to the trenches on the fifth. But other than that, Charles Oliveira just was too much for him, dude. Staying in boxing range and then looking for takedowns, dragging him out, beating him up on top, taking his back. I mean, the only round that Michael Chandler did eventually win was just maybe the fifth. I think he had him hurt either the fourth or the fifth round. It was the fifth round that he had him hurt, and he could have finished it, but he went back to wrestling. I mean, these are the things I just really don't understand. When you got somebody hurt, Kamaru, finish them on your feet. Like, why grapple? When you grapple and they go down, like, you're not going to grind upon them. Your abilities when somebody's staggered is you leave them on your feet and you finish them off there. Man, there's so many good fights, man, for Oliveira. Oliveira is always going to be Oliveira. There's a fight, man. How do you describe him? He just fights, man. He fights. He throws knees. He the reason why he's tricky too, because he brings in the wrestling, but title shot for Oliveira, 100% they're going to give it to him. But I personally think that I would love to see Charles and Max Holloway, or I would love to see Michael Chandler and Max Holloway, since the BMF belt is still there, even though I feel like Ilya should have it. But since it's still in the hands of a guy like Max Holloway, there's two fights, especially the fact that he's going up to 155 pounds and he can choose which one. I like the Chandler fight or the Oliveira fight for him.
Okay, you said a lot there, so I'm gonna try to just kind of break it up. You put a lot on me. I'm gonna try to break it up for you. But let's start with Oliveira. It was a good fight, but first of all, Charles Oliveira, you can't deny that for some reason, like, this guy is a star. He is. And it's crazy to me because I never understood that, because when I was champion, he was becoming champion and then was champion. And I was like, he doesn't speak English. I'm sure he understands some English, but he doesn't speak English. So it makes it hard. And they always say that because English is a universal language. And so it makes it hard for a lot of the Western world to really connect to it and gravitate to that. But Charles Oliveira, that man has broken through. I'm in the garden, and when he comes out, it's loud. I'm like, is this many Brazilians in here? But it isn't just Brazilians. He's broke through. Charles Oliveira is a bona fide star. And I think it's the way that he's been able to fight. He fights, he comes forward, he's willing to get into the action. And like we say, in the backyard, he come to thump every time. He come ready to go. And he showed that. Now, going into Michael Chandler had the right game plan, I believe. He worked on delivering a good performance. But I don't know if you noticed this, Henry. There's something that we have to talk about technically when it comes to Michael Chandler. Is Michael Chandler lost his lightweight title in Bellator. He got kicked in the peroneal nerve down there, low kick, and his left leg was completely gone. He couldn't stand on it. Every time he planted, he rolled the ankle, planted and rolled the ankle. And that's just kind of the symptoms of being kicked there. He lost his belt, I believe, to Primus there in a lightweight.
Yeah, Brett Primus.
Yes. And with that same thing. And so Michael Chandler, over the years, it's like he gets kicked there, that leg instantly shuts down. It's completely shuts down. And I don't know if you noticed that, Henry. It was a couple of kicks that Charles Oliveira threw there. It wasn't clean on that nerve, but it was red. You could see it. And I'm watching Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's leg was done. That's why he kept winging those hooks, because he couldn't step. He couldn't step when he started the round, he could throw a 1-1-2. He could throw a 1-2. And it looked dangerous. But see, he couldn't step anymore. So he had to wing these hooks. Look at that. He's throwing those hooks so hard, he's not bringing his feet because that leg is gone. And I noticed that, I believe, maybe in the second round, and the leg is gone.
Yeah.
And so Charles Oliveira did what he had to do. He just kept putting on the pressure, and Charles Oliveira was taking out Michael Chandler. Like, think about that. Taking out Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's a wrestler, a good wrestler. Charles Oliveira was shooting offensive shots to take him down. If that doesn't let you know that he was completely compromised, which I think phenomenal job by Charles Oliveira, going for the legs, taking his legs out, and by round 2, Charles Oliveira was just in complete control. And then Michael Chandler survived to round 5 and just still mustered up the courage enough he's one of the best showmen that we have, to still give the people a show. He knew that the commander-in-chief was there. He knew that the A-team was accompanying him. They were there with him as well. So you guys came to watch us. Guess what? I'm going to give you a show. Whether I'm compromised or I'm gunned here, doesn't matter. I'm still going to give you a show. And that's what you saw in those 2 big slams there at the end. It was an entertaining fight, a very, very entertaining fight. But I think something needs to be addressed with that nerve, with that leg, because I don't know if it's something that over time it just becomes easier and easier to manipulate, but something definitely was wrong there. So
but that's just, in my opinion, Kamaru, that's just a technical and tactical deficiency that he has, where he just needs to understand how to evade kicks or smash into his opponents, like, dive into it, because he gets kicked quite a bit, man. But so I don't think to me, I get what you're saying, but I don't believe that. But that being said, there's still, other than Jon Jones maybe winning it, he was also winner that night. I do believe that Dana White is going to say, hey, you know what? This guy gave everybody. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Kamaru. Were these fights like the most prestigious fights that, on paper? No, but to me, in my opinion,
you said the most epic fight card.
Every fight did deliver. Every fight did deliver. Even Bo Nickal getting booed, I thought that fight was actually pretty good. I thought the fact that Bo Nickal didn't attempt a takedown said a lot about him, against a guy that has beaten Uncle Live, against a guy who was beating Jamal Hill. Call him what you want to call him, but every freaking fight delivered here. So I do feel like what's next for a guy like for Michael Chandler is, I like it. I more like, what could happen. They're probably going to give him Max Holloway. I think they're probably going to give him Max Holloway. Charles Oliveira is going to fight the winner of Islam and Arman. So I think that's how you cut it. I'd love to see the fight between Michael Chandler and Max Holloway, because you're right. If the BMF, the hypotheticals, what you're saying, let both of these guys fights that don't have a belt, and just let the entertainer fucking win, and then continue to keep that belt going according to who is the better entertainer. I don't know, Kamaru. How do I help me out with my words?
No, you're right. I don't necessarily like the Max Holloway fight for Chandler.
Why?
I would like to see. I don't think it's a good stylistic matchup for
Oh,
Chandler.
so you
or
don't think your boy could beat
both
him?
guys. I just don't. No, I never said that. Michael Chandler, his hands, if they touch anybody, he's kind of like the Francis Ngannou is kind of like a Cody Garbrandt, that they just have this ultra confidence in their hands. If they touch a rhino on the side of the head, that rhino's going to sleep. So I'm never saying that. I just feel I like the Conor call out. I like it.
Yeah.
I like if
Yeah.
Conor was able, if Conor was at home and Conor ever got that itch and they were able to work out the issues that they have right now, I like that fight. I think Conor hasn't been as active. So has Chandler. He hasn't been as active. I still think that's a good fight. It's a winnable fight for Chandler. It's a winnable fight for Conor. They're both entertainers. Anything could happen. I do think that's still a good fight. I would rather see that than Max Holloway and Chandler. But if that's what they both want, hey, take my money. I'm gonna watch it for sure, 100%. So I like it. But Henry, what you said on that fight, the Bo Nickal and that Paul Craig fight, it's yes, like Bo Nickal
were you
is
surprised? Were you
smart here.
surprised with Paul Craig?
No, I wasn't surprised with Paul Craig because that's Paul. Paul's not a striker. Paul's not an aggressive striker that's going to go find you and get you out of there. That's not who Paul Craig is. But you can tell that Bo Nickal definitely studied because why am I going to use wrestling when this guy's best weapon is being on his back? So I'm not giving him that luxury. But I know the fight wasn't the greatest fight, but that was a good learning fight for a guy like Bo Nickal. He has 15 minutes of tape to watch his stand-up and learn how to improve. He didn't really have a jab. His jab was non-existent, really. And he was throwing that left hand. He does a really good job of throwing it to the body and mixing it up, body, then start to throw it to the head. I think now he has 15 minutes of stand-up on tape to go back and watch and say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I can get better here, and I'm going to work on that. So I like his composure. He stayed composed. Yes, the crowd was booing. I know that gets overwhelming at times, especially when you got the A-team sitting right there front and center watching you. I like it for him. I think he only grows from there. For Paul Craig, I think Paul could have taken a little bit more chances. You're the seasoned vet here. You could have taken more chances of putting this young, hungry contender prospect, I should say, in danger and making him make mistakes. And Henry, we can both agree in watching that fight, Paul Craig really didn't take those chances. And we know Paul Craig is capable of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Paul Craig didn't shoot balls of lightnings and thunder from his ass last night. But I will say this, Bo Nickal, when you hit the nail on the head, he did get experience. And I went 5 for 5. I said, Bo Nickal, Paul Craig's going to be some dude that you're just going to be able to take down and do your thing. Like, dude, now you get into the higher level UFC fighters. And it humbled Bo Nickal a little bit. But I will say this with Bo, he's going to have to develop new combinations, new fakes, new setups, because he kept doing the same damn combination, the high-low, and looking for that overhand. He's really falling in love with that overhand. One of these dudes are going to end up catching him if he's not careful. I wanted to see a little bit of the grappling that he didn't bring in, but it's what it is. I mean, I know I got into UFC when I had 6 fights in. I was still growing, and I feel like Bo Nickal should still take his time, dude. If you put him up against guys that are going to challenge him with the wrestling, that have good defense, they're going to get up from their feet. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are dangerous there, dude. You know, you got if we want to say Paul Craig was 13, I believe, wasn't he? Paul Craig
Paul Craig wasn't ranked.
He wasn't even ranked.
He wasn't ranked. He was just outside of the rankings. I think he had just been taken out. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's even more to my point. If we go to the 15th, there's Michael Pereira. You know, the dude that does it. And I think that's a pretty good fight for him because he does get tired. But anybody and everybody, 185 pounds, that Sharapov is 14. I like that fight for him too. I don't think the UFC fight will give him that, but we're looking at potentially a fight with Anthony Hernandez or a Jack Hermanson if he does decide to go that route. Obviously, Apollo at 13. I mean, that whole weight class, these guys are bringing it. I feel like, and I've said this before. You remember when I said this? I said, Bo Nickal needs at least anywhere between 6 to 8 fights before he really starts competing against high-level competition.
Did you say that, though?
I did. You guys retract my tapes, and I said it, it
6 to 8.
I might have even said 10. I might have even said 10.
I think it was less than that.
The simple fact that Bo Nickal, he got booed last night. No, I did say if you want to give him a fight that's going to be more geared towards his style, give him Israel. I did say to give him your boy. I think that'd be a really good fight for Bo Nickal with the submission threats that he does have. You know what I'm saying? That's my 2 cents on that. But either way, Bo Nickal, take your damn time. You're still not there yet. Stop being so damn eager. You need maybe at least another 5-6 more fights before you get into the top 5. And that's my opinion. I wouldn't mess with the top 15, or if you do, I would mess with the 15 to 13 and then just stick around there for maybe these next 2 fights, and then start to kind of puzzle your way in and break it in and find the right fights. Because right now, did he win the fight? 100%. But it was 2-1. Pak Greg did win round 1. And Bo Nickal was able to see a lot of the improvements that he needs to make, Kamaru. And if he's able to make that, in my opinion, in the future, this kid could become the middleweight champion of the world. Is that too much for you? Is that too much for you to handle, Kush?
Flag on the play again. Blow. Whistle. That's a whistle. Flag on the play. Bruh.
I like that. You need to throw a towel at me.
You de mad? I have to speak in my native tongue. You de mad? You want to give him Israel Adesanya, the former champion? Are you what?
Stylistically, 100%. Stylistically.
No.
I'm not saying you give it to him now.
Okay.
I'm saying if he had the opportunity to fight somebody, yes, 100%. If he wants to get to that title shot.
We're now. What do you mean give it to him now?
Yeah, but I'm just saying stylistically. Like
if you're having a hard time, but if you're having a hard time pairing him with someone from 13 to 15, from 12 to 15, why would you pair him with the former champion, the number 1 guy?
Because of the same reason.
Yes,
because of the same reason of where a DDP took him, same position where it's the same thing. It's doing what you can.
DDP's a more complete fighter right now. I get what you're trying to say.
But when it comes to wrestling, Kamaru, it's hard for you to. It's hard to even a guy like DDP. I think Bo Nickal would have a better chance with DDP than some of the other guys, because DDP will scrabble, he will wrestle. Like, you know what I'm saying? But Bo Nickal's grappling is still that much better.
I hear what you're saying, Henry. But the one thing here is you're just speaking from style to style. Clash. Oh yeah, this guy should win. But that's like MMA math. That doesn't always account for a fight. It doesn't work. This is mixed martial arts, where a scrawny guy at the bar can beat up a 350-pound football player and make him look silly. It doesn't always add up. Bo Nickal's not ready for that yet. If I'm even looking at the top, that 12 to 15, Bo Nickal's not ready for that yet. You can't throw Bo Nickal in there with Jack Hermanson. No way.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not.
I disagree.
Look what Jack Hermanson just did to.
So what about your boy Magomedov? What about Shara Magomedov? What do you think about that? You think Magomedov's gonna fucking? I guarantee you, it's
okay.
Bo by whatever he wants to do.
Let me finish here. Look what Jack Hermanson just did to Pyfer. Remember? Pyfer was killing everybody. First round, walking them down. Big boy, big hands. Jack Hermanson says, sit down. Jack Hermanson got some wins here. I'm talking Jack Hermanson has wins over Jacare Souza. Jack Hermanson, he's not ready for a Jack Hermanson yet. And then if you look down, you even go down the card, I don't even think right now, I think he needs to take his time. He's not ready for a so
you're really gonna do my boy like that? So you don't think he's ready for Shara Magomedov, number 13?
You talking about
number 14? You don't think he's ready for Hernandez?
You talking about
you don't
no Hernandez?
Pereira?
Pereira, I would say
Come on,
Pereira,
you got to put
listen to
respect
me.
on the 3-time NCAA champ, 4-time final. You forget you're a wrestler,
okay,
Kamaru.
Listen to me. Don't get me wrong. Bo Nickal is phenomenal, and I 100% believe, because I love the way he's taking his time, and I do believe Bo Nickal can be a potential champion in that division for sure. But there's no need to rush. Don't rush into these fights. If you do fight, Henry, from the names you just called out, I would say Pereira, because Pereira is still very, very wild and unpredictable. He is. I still think he's very, very good, solid foundation when he wants to, but it takes a veteran to make Pereira get out of that solid foundation and start doing wild stuff, become an entertainer where he does lose fights. So the Sharabulla, I mean, you're talking about a guy that just hit you with two of these. Oh, and you know how he did it, Henry. How he did it like this and like this. Just hit you with two of these joints. Hey,
I like that fight, but the UFC will not give it to him. What I'm saying is,
of course, why would you break two stars?
We're practically saying the same shit, and this is what I was saying. Like, I think he needs to reach the 10-0, which is in 3 fights, and then maybe he start jumping into the top 15 or
top
maybe
15.
Yeah,
I agree with
or
you.
maybe or maybe top 15 or maybe top 10, dude, after 3 fights, dude, because he is special and he is different, and there is a lot of pressure. But I will say this about Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal, stop being the fucking nice guy, dude. Be the heel. Like, people are calling you overrated. People are booing you. You have to be able to use that for your own good, man. Like, if I'm in Bo Nickal shoes and that shit was going on, I'd straight up turn heel, like Kobe Covington style. Like just go at it. You know, you're still yourself, but what you want to do is something that Vince McMahon has always said is, you want to get people emotionally involved. When you're too much of a nice guy and you're too much of a, when you're too much of a nice guy, people just don't buy that shit. And I'm sure he's a nice guy. And I've known Bo Nickal. He's a really, really nice kid. But when he talks, he's very confident. I'm going to finish him round 1. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. He didn't do that. And that's okay, Bo. Like, don't fucking stop beating yourself up. Go out there. When life gives you orange, you make orange juice, and I feel like he could do a better job with that, because now he's kind of becoming like the teacher's pet. Because I mean, think about it. Dana's wife putting him on some big cards. It's the reality. What are you? How can you turn maybe heel, or how can you turn your style of fighting into making it maybe more entertaining with your mouthpiece, because you got booed, man, and I personally felt like the fight was entertaining from start to finish. I'm not saying being the king of cringe, but what I'm saying is, like, play into it. Like, you have to play into it, Kamaru.
You're not saying be the king of cringe, but what you're saying is be the king of cringe. I got you. Yeah, but Henry, you're onto something, but.
Just think about it, come on, what I'm saying.
Some guys, you're onto something. You are, but I don't think he needs to necessarily do that. I think it's going to naturally come on its own, because of the way that he is, because of the way that I was at a certain time. I would state what I was going to do. I'm going to dominate you. I'm going to beat you from start to finish. There's nothing you can do to stop me. I sat there and told Tyron Woodley that, like, I would dominate you in every aspect of the game. There's nothing you can say or do. Like, it's going to come across. When he starts to do that, that's going to start to build his persona. And I think he's already on his way there. He doesn't necessarily need to flip heel, unless that's really him, because some people that do flip heel, that's really kind of inside them. They just get tired of being ridiculed or get pushed a certain way. And then they're like, hey, F this. I'm going for it. No, you people wanted to boo me. Quinta, don't boo me. Boo you. He can turn into that if he feels like. So I like the way he is, but I think right now, don't be hard on yourself, Bo. I know it sucks because there's a lot of noise, more attention than you've ever gotten before. You're getting all this noise everywhere from people saying, yeah, this, yeah, that. And now I'm sure they're going to be in your DMs, and I'm sure they're going to let you know that you suck. I'm sure they're going to let you know that you're overrated. I'm sure they're going to say all these things, but guess what? They're watching you. So keep doing your thing. Take your time. Burn through a couple of little contracts. Then when you step in that top 15, you'll be ready. You'll be experienced. and you go out there and potentially make that title run. So I like it for both. But the rest of the card was great, Henry. The first fight on the main card, is it Huffy?
Yeah, Huffy.
Mauricio Huffy was a good fight.
I like him, dude.
Yeah, he's good, but I still think technically he could clean up a little bit because he's such a counter puncher, counter striker to where he was slipping, boom, pulling back, boom, trying to land that one shot. That's great, but I think if you get a guy that's a little bit more active than James, I think it might be problematic, especially a guy that continues their combination. It might become a little problematic. So
yeah,
I like the fight. It was a good fight. It was a good fight because he was landing nice shots. Yeah. Really good shots.
His overhand counters Kamaru too. Like his ability to kind of stay in the pocket and just counter with that overhand. On top, he could have the Peruvian could have done he brought the fight, dude. Like I said, dude, like I think a lot of people brought the fight because dude, they're like, dude, I'm fighting in front of the most powerful dude in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? You guys had Kamaru Usman on the third row for crying out loud. They had everybody under the sun there. I probably would have it.
Doing me like that.
They probably put me, I don't know, somewhere in the second row, maybe in the middle, or maybe, somewhere around there. But that being said, Mauricio is really good. The fight nerds right now, Kamaru, the fight nerds this year, dude. To me, that's the team of the year, man. They've been doing a really good job. 11-0, 9 finishes. I'm talking about Hufi, Carlos Pratas, Caio Boralho, Jean Silva. I mean, this team right now is a team that is doing freaking well through their number stats and knockouts, but also the marketing too, man. They're doing a really, really good job with the fighting nerds, with their damn little glasses. And obviously the UFC likes that. So they're going to continue to keep putting these guys on the best cards. But overall, man, UFC 309, it freaking delivered. Like, I wouldn't have. I mean, obviously, we never know with these fights, but people came through, dude. And on top of all of that, Kamaru, we both ended up going 5-4-5. Come on, Kamaru, give yourself a round of applause, dude. Can you tap yourself on the back, or maybe? Yeah,
I think we just finally figured out how to really dive into these underdog stats now, Henry.
Yeah,
we just figured it out because at first it was a little, you got to get your feet wet here and there, but we got it down, underdog.
Yeah.
So big shout out to you.
Can we blow it up real quick? Can we see it? Can you blow it up a little bit there, Logan, so we can see a little bit of?
So looking at our results, obviously.
So who's left? Who's right? I forget.
I am. Let me see.
I
said
you're
left.
Fight time. So you're a lefty, like I knew.
Yes.
And obviously.
Oh, just bow, busting shots at me,
today,
huh?
Briet.
What gun is that?
That's freaking a machine gun. Yeah, significant strikes. I said higher, got it. Higher for Charles Oliveira, significant strikes. Bo Nickal, as I told you, it's going to go decision. I got that right. Significant strikes on Silva. It was higher. And then Mauricio Hufi, man. Higher on the fight text. I know Peruvians, bro, when you fight guys that are just willing to go to death, you got to put these guys out. And, dude, I'm happy. I'm stoked, dude.
Big shout out to our partners at Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play fantasy sports. As always, make sure you use code P4P when you sign up to support the show. Click the link down below to get started. Henry, something also took place the day before on Friday in Arlington, Texas, my hometown. Mike Tyson took on
God, you make it sound like there's a fucking shooting tomorrow, dude. Jesus. Something. I'm like, Jesus, dude. I'm like, who
Something
died?
happened in Arlington, Texas. Something happened.
Yeah.
But, Henry, I can't say we were wrong here.
Yeah.
I can't say we were wrong here.
Yeah. I mean, it's what it is, bro. I think I felt like shit the whole day, like nervous, maybe a little cranky, because I'm just like, man, I hope Mike doesn't get done up. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's like, he really is like an uncle, man. And just, I think everybody kind of felt those vibes. I think everybody is, like, it's hard for you not to like a genuine being like Mike Tyson. But I will say this. I did feel like Jake Paul, I mean, his bowing at the end, I like what Jake Paul did for Mike, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been trolling, he's been doing X, Y, and Z, but man, to take care of a guy like Mike Tyson, which I know they're super close to each other. You know, they're able to make business. I know at wins, you know, Mike was able to slap him, but I think after all, he got Mike paid.
Fight promotion. They had almost 60 million views, I think I heard, Henry.
Yeah, the most viewed, if you want to talk about viewerships, the most viewed fight in recent times, dude.
Event, I believe.
Yeah, maybe in history. Is that right? I mean, talk about capitalizing.
Not in history.
Talk about, record-breaking that for Netflix on Friday. Nearly 60 million households tuned into Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight live worldwide, according to the streamer. The event peaked at 65 million.
Yeah, it's not the biggest because those cricket numbers.
The Thriller and Vanilla.
No, cricket. The cricket championships. Oh man, those things would be like 100 million people watching that.
But obviously, Jake Paul did get it done. I mean, I think there's a potential fight with Jake Paul. I mean, Jake Paul at this point, if you want to make money, fight Jake Paul. I would love for him and Connor. I would love for him and Francis too. Francis would fucking hurt him. Relax, your boy's calling him out. Next time I see this, Jake Paul, guys, I'm going to slap you 2 or 3 times.
What did he say? I'm going to slap you. Yes. Next time, Francis can virtually do whatever he. Listen, I seen this before. I think it was my dog Philly Fresh that said this when some dude was talking about he would fight Jon Jones. Listen, Francis could have sex with you if he wanted to.
Damn.
Jake Paul.
Jesus Christ. Dude.
Don't do it.
Whoa.
No. Don't do it.
I'm like,
listen.
You just fucking
That's not what you want.
You just ruined my appetite, dude. You had me thinking of Francis Ngannou fucking laying pipe, dude.
No, pause, Henry. Relax. Don't take it that far.
I mean, you said it, bro.
Listen, if Francis somehow one of his paws, one of his mittens touch anywhere near here, Jake, no, that's not what you want. That's not what you want. I get it. If Jake, listen, I can't take anything away from Jake Paul. Jake Paul is showed us literally how to promote a fight now.
Yeah.
Jake Paul has showed us how, for a guy that's
he's a businessman.
A guy that's, what is it, 10-1, 11-1? For a guy that's 10-1, 11-1 to be making $40 million, I don't even think Bud is making that yet.
No.
I don't even think
none of them. Maybe Canelo.
So to be making that much for a fight, listen, he showed us something. Like we of course we know that he's not there technically yet as a world champion boxer. So that's why I think a lot of people, especially professional fighters, kind of hate on him because of that. But he's still learning. And not only is he still learning, this guy's getting better. And the fact that he's able to get us to watch this, I think, and I said this before, I think he got out of this fight what he wanted to. Yeah. He got out of it. Yeah. That's the fame. That's the notoriety. Yeah. Now he's tweeting Francis Ngannou. Once again, like I said to you earlier in the show, you did mad. Jake Paul, you did mad. Now he's tweeting Francis Ngannou, and they're getting back and forth.
Yeah, but
they're both heavyweights. Jake Paul waiting at 230-something. Francis just fought his fight at 240-something. That could happen.
It really could. See, look at you changing your tune. Look at you changing your tune.
No, that's what I'm saying is this guy has figured out how to make us somehow care. Eventually, it's going to roll into pay-per-view dollars. I don't think it's there yet, but eventually it's going to. But he's figured out how to make us care. And now he's talking to Francis Ngannou, who I know is a free agent. They're both signed under the PFL banner. Oh,
hold on. Are you telling me Francis is a free agent right now? Did you just say that?
He's not a free agent. They're both signed under the PFL banner.
Okay. Well, there's other news too. And again, dude, it's crazy. But Arthur Beterbiev, I mean, Beterbiev called him out. He's like, Jake Paul, he's willing to put his WBA, WBC, IBF, IBO, his light heavyweight world title on the line to fight a guy like Jake Paul. these guys see, exact. As a competitor, you're shaking your head. But if I'm Arthur Beterbiev, you're doing the exact same thing. I mean, you're doing it right because Jake Paul will say yes, and he could potentially fight
No,
for
he
an under.
won't say yes.
Will he get? Will Jake Paul get beat up? Yeah, now he will. But to say that you fought for the undisputed titles, dude, that's a resume of its own. And look at his resume. Mike Tyson, being Mike Tyson. Just listen to it. I get it. He's old. Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz. I mean, Tyron Woodley a couple of times. Ben Askren, Mike Perry. I mean, these are guys that are pretty known in the combat world. I mean, a Hall of Famer in Anderson Silva, a Hall of Famer in Mike Tyson. You know, potentially a future Hall of Famer in some of these other guys. In a Woodley. I mean, this dude has done amazing things. I wouldn't be right now. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they give Canelo Alvarez. Maybe Canelo Alvarez said, "Hey, you know what? I want some of that shmoney. I want 40 millions for easy work. I walk you like dog. Money, money.
Flag on the play, Henry.
But that's the problem, Kush. You're seeing it. You're seeing it as a competitor. You're not seeing it money wise. If I'm any of these guys, when you have Arthur Beterbiev calling him, but it's easy money for Canelo. Canelo, go out there and just beat the shit out of him. You ruin you get rid of the character, and then you save boxing once again. According to his eyes, I personally like Jake Paul. I think we got to stick him around, but I like that Francis fight personally.
That's the fight because Canelo's too experienced to where I don't think that fight would, and I think Canelo would hurt him. I would like to, but Jake Paul's too big too. Canelo is fighting at 150, 157 to 167. I don't think Jake Paul fought this fight at 237 pounds, I believe. Yeah, I think he's too big. But even then, I still think Canelo does get it done. I think the Francis Ngannou fight now in the state that we're in, you just fought Mike Tyson. Why not? Francis Ngannou make it as weird as it sounds. Francis Ngannou kind of makes sense for him. Think about it. Francis Ngannou just came off of the boxing fight with Anthony Joshua. That makes sense.
Yeah, if I'm PFL, I'm putting that fight together. Yeah, you don't want to do MMA. He's gonna Francis is gonna hurt him. But in boxing, yeah. I give Jake Paul more of a chance in boxing against Francis. I mean, it's the game, dude. You know.
I agree.
But I saw your boy, bro, Ian Garry dude. For some reason, I really did believe that UFC 310 we're gonna see the Nigerian Nightmare versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, but it seems like your boy teammate versus teammate Ian Garry and Shavkat have been announced for the co-main event December 7th, and not just that, Joaquin Buckley and Colby Covington are now scrapping. I like that, man. These are super competitive matches that are going to be good, man. I personally like the Ian Garry against Rakhmonov. That says a lot about Ian Garry too. That's gonna be a big step up to the competition that he's been fighting. Now he's going up against the number one contender. I mean, this shit is good, man. This shit is really, really good. At 175 pounds, it's getting spicy. What's your 2 cents, Kamaru?
It's 170 pounds, welterweight division. But
yeah, what did I say? What
you said 175. Foreshadowing. I would love that extra 5 pounds, but it's 170. Listen, I like the matchup, but we have a tendency to get excited for these Ian Garry matchups, and they don't turn out the way we think.
Oh, really? Is there some animosity here with you and Ian Garry, Kush? What's up?
No, absolutely. I'm just being honest.
Some shade over there.
I'm being honest. Did I not say the same thing against the Michael Venom Page fight? And you were like, yeah, it's going to be exciting. And what did I say? And what did it turn out to be? So, and that's not a knock. It's just the way that Ian Garry likes to fight. Ian Garry is a guy that loves space. He loves to make it look pretty. He loves to run off his combination and move, make it look pretty, to where you have a guy like Shavkat who is kind of a seek and destroy type of guy. He wants to get into the action. So I like the matchup, of course. First and foremost, let's clear this up. They're not teammates. Ian Garry came down here to South Florida as he migrates all over the place, and he did a couple of camps here in South Florida, which I think personally should have stayed. Would have done great for him, but he's still doing great wherever he's going and how he's moving around. Same with Shavkat. Shavkat comes when he has a fight, he comes down to South Florida for camp and does his camps there. So to say both of them are teammate versus teammate, that's false. They're not teammates. And I think it's a good fight. Shavkat is going to come forward. He's going to try to seek and destroy as he always does. And Ian Gary's going to move around to create the space to try to find the good strike. So it's a good fight on paper. I don't know how it's going to look on fight night, but I'm just putting that bug in your ear and letting you know.
Obviously you've seen it before, but I've heard rumors are that Shavkat had hurt Ian Gary at practice. I sent him to a different realm, dude. That's none of my fucking business, but you getting a chance to see both of them train in the training room and maybe have, I don't know if you have rolled with either one of them, because obviously you guys are chasing the same dream. If you had to put your money, Kamaru, Usman, who do you think has the leverage in this fight?
Well,
and don't be DCing me too, man. You're starting to get our corporate.
I don't know.
Shit.
Listen to me. I don't know whatever happened in practice, but I'm old school. Whatever happened in practice, that was practice. I done had guys put it on me in practice, but like Mike Tyson said, you put them in that arena. You put the lights on them. You have popcorn to all the people around.
He always does it with his head.
Yep, they can't do it. Yeah, so they can't do it. So I never speak about what happens in practice. Practice is practice. But it's an intriguing fight because there's a little bit of backstory. So I think it's going to make for a little bit more animosity as we get closer to the fight. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's not the most electrifying fight that we've ever seen, like we're expecting. But now the fight here on December 14th, I think it's a very good stylistic matchup because right now you've got Joaquin Buckley, who he's going to run off combinations, trying to land those big shots to potentially get you out of there. Colby Covington is a guy that you could potentially get with the big shot, but Colby also is the other side of that coin. He can get a hold of you, drag you down if he utilizes his wrestling, because we saw his last fight. He didn't exactly utilize that wrestling until the later rounds where he got a little bit more comfortable. And now he's been out for quite some time now again. So who knows?
Yeah.
Well, I do like this fight.
Yeah, no, I like it. And I actually think Buckley's actually going to beat Colby. I really do. And I'm going to tell you why.
It could happen.
I'm going to tell you why.
Yes.
The dude is vicious. He's explosive. He's been able to cover distance. And not just that, he's training with Nick Simmons, who used to train.
I don't think he is anymore.
He's training.
I don't think he is anymore.
No, he is. He's still training with Nick Simmons. Nick Simmons is his main wrestling coach, who Nick Simmons also had a chance to coach Colby Covington too. So I believe I'm not sure what stance Nick Simmons is going to be there. By the way, for those who don't know Nick Simmons, he
didn't corner him last fight.
He did. He was there. Yeah, he did. He was
in the corner.
In the corner
versus Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Positive. Roll up the tape.
I didn't think so, but hey, if
no, it's there. What I'm trying to say is he's been working on the wrestling stuff like this. If you're gonna need Nick Simmons at this time, like this is the time to do it. And I just believe that great coaching and it's teaching him the position work that he could do. He could do some incredible things. So I don't know, man. I just don't know if Cole. I mean, the style of Colby Covington is doing is so predictable now, and the fact that they've seen him lose time and time again, whether it's with Leon Edwards or yourself, like it's there. Once you stop Colby's takedowns, dude, things will fall into place. And look at how Joaquin covers distance, bro. Double fangs dipping in to eventually stop a dude like Wonder Boy. So I'm high on this kid. This kid is dangerous, Kamaru. I can see Colby Covington losing via stoppage, man, to a guy like Joaquin Buckley. And I truly do believe that.
I can as well. I don't see Simmons. Go back to that corner. Go back to the corner. Go back to that video. Go back. Yeah, go back there. Where is Simmons? I don't see Nick.
I think that might have been Wonder Boy's corner, dude.
Is that one? No, that's not Wonder Boy's corner. Three black dudes.
Maybe Nick got a tan that day. I don't know.
Hey,
Damn, I thought you're right. You're right, because I thought he was in the corner, but no. But either way, he's training with Nick, and Nick goes to fight with him, and that says a lot, dude.
You're absolutely right. But the thing here is, all of those things work great when you're fighting a guy that's not a wrestler that can't change levels. Colby will, instead of evading the way Wonder Boy was, what do we do as wrestlers? We change levels, cut you down. And so we'll see. Only time would tell, because Colby's been out for a while, and what's the word I'm looking at? Historically speaking, time hasn't really been the great factor for Colby Covington in between these fights. So yes, I don't know. I don't know. I like the fight though. I like that fight. I'm actually excited to see that fight. Also, I'm excited to see, but I'm just excited to see the division working. I'm excited to see these matchups happening, people fighting each other. So it's just great.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I can't wait to see how we close out the year.
But we have a question from the casual. After seeing Trump at UFC 309, if you could pick one celebrity besides Trump to be in the octagon side to watch your next fight, who would you pick?
Whew. Henry, there's a lot. There's a lot of people. Obviously, I'm friends with a lot of celebrities now. But who would make me nervous? I don't know. I really don't know who would make me nervous. I would say maybe
it would have to be a girl, dude. It would have to be maybe like a J-Lo.
No.
J-Ho.
I would say, who would I love to see? I would have to say, I would love to see Denzel Washington at a fight.
My man.
K-side watching. I think
my man.
I think for the culture, I would love to see a Denzel Washington. I would love to potentially see one of the African presidents, one of the African countries' presidents. I would say maybe King of Morocco. I would love to see him maybe attend an event. Yeah, I would love to see that. Or maybe the president of Nigeria. I would love to see one of them, the leaders of the strong African nation. I would love to see them attend an event. Yeah. But besides that, I think that, and then maybe Denzel, because it was in Henry.
You don't have any females. You don't have any females there, Kush. And you're like a Holly Berry.
Holly Berry, I think, has seen me fight. Yeah, she's actually seen me fight before. So she's seen me fight. I've seen her K-side. So it's great. Yeah, it's great. But for me,
you sweating over there, dude?
Low key. It's great. I would just say, yeah, maybe like a Denzel, someone that's powerful, that means a lot. Just like this weekend meant when Jon Jones hopped over and the president and his A team was there. I think I was very, very, very special, and I think something like that would be something that I would love to see. But what about you?
I'm about to hit up Ali, man. Keeping my ball in the third row, man. Like that ain't right, dude. How you gonna do the pound for pound king like that? I would probably say Uncle Mike, dude. I would have to say Uncle Mike, dude. I think having Mike Tyson there, which I believe he was there when I beat Demetrius Johnson. That's kind of how we became friends. So but I didn't know he was there. I think other than Mike Tyson, I'd probably say Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, for the history that he's done in combat sports. I would love for him to see me fight and just be there. Or a good Mexican legend like maybe Julio Cesar Chavez, dude, to be there to freaking watch me, to be able to shake his hand afterwards. So these are all guys that have seen me fight, that I'm now friends with other than Manny. That it's been cool, dude. But I think if I was to like maybe pick a woman, I'd probably say J-Lo. J-Ho, just for the simple fact that, back as we're kids, she was a star, man. She was the it. You know what I'm saying, Kush? So that's my list. I hope it's cringy enough for you, Kamaru.
Oh, it's there. It's there. That's for sure. That is for sure. Anywho, guys, as always, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. How many times did I flag you today? I probably flagged you like 2-3 times on the play. But
I like that. You gotta get a flag, dude. You gotta get a flag and a fucking whistle.
I do. That's what's coming up next. But as always, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you guys. UFC 309 recap, great weekend of fights, and of course Tyson and Jake Paul. Fantastic weekend of fights, and as always, I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C.
And we are out.